Today's podcast is brought to you by Eat, Drink, Live Local. Local Cleveland business here. They're all about supporting and advocating for businesses, nonprofits, and local live music here in the Cleveland area. They do offer a $30 VIP card that includes a ton of special promotions and offers for all of their clients. Also, completely free to sign up as a business to be a part of this. And I personally think the best part is $10 VIP card purchase goes to a local nonprofit that changes every month. Please sign up. You can go to edllusa.com and check it out.
Then you start lifting weights and you start feeling better.
You feel so much better.
Look at yourself in the mirror and you start looking better and you get more confidence, and then that starts going. But then your diet's key too, because your gut is connected to your brain. You know what I mean? So you got to eat good. If you're putting bullshit in, you're going to get bullshit out.
Right.
So, you know, I'm always eating really healthy, meal prepping a lot, doing all that stuff. Water intake, you know what I mean? I'm probably at 2 gallons at least a day. You know, I'm ripping that.
Dang, son.
Yeah, I don't mess around with the water.
You handling those pee breaks then, huh?
I gotta pee right now, but if we're rocking,
you can go pee real quick.
You sure?
Yeah,
right.
Go pee. We'll take a quick break. All right, and welcome back to But Are You Happy with Roger Berry? I have my man here, a Rocky River native, Cleveland native, Maserati Wes, a.k.a. Wes Barkley, in the house. Thank you for coming, bro. We're so happy to have you, dude.
Appreciate it.
I love when the locals come through.
Hell yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah. Appreciate you having me on.
So what have you been up to, man? What have you been up to lately?
So I've been busy it's been kind of like a whirlwind in the last, probably since like Thanksgiving, pretty much. So I had this big match with this guy, Matt Cardona. He's probably, in my opinion, the top guy in the game.
Okay.
All wrestling. He was in WWE for 10 plus years.
Oh, damn.
Killed it. Did it his own way, came back, now he's on the Independents. That's what I'm doing, independent. Cut my hair in February, so like a year ago, literally this weekend.
That's wild.
Yeah,
it was long as fuck.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then, so he cut my hair, and then like the whole year we were feuding on and off and stuff, and just me as a wrestler, and you know, it was an awesome opportunity. So I had a big match against him the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, won that match. Then I wrestled his partner the next month in December, won that match. So I'm starting to get some momentum going with like big dogs.
How did you...
I know I'm going all over the place, but...
No, you're fine, dude. No, you're...
2 weeks ago, Akron last week, we're here now.
No, that's phenomenal. So are you... So there's independent wrestling, and then there's like WWE.
Yeah.
Is your ultimate goal to be WWE?
Yeah, when I first started this, it was to make a living wrestling, right? That's all I want to do. Nowadays, they're throwing contracts out, and that's the way to do it, you know? And, I mean, you know me. No, of course. Pretty much our whole lives, you know what I mean, growing up in River and stuff. So I've always been in like music, clothes, and different.
You've always had something going on.
Yeah, art stuff, music and shit. So I'm allowed to swear on this, right? Of
course.
All right, cool. So I've always been into that stuff, and like I always kind of thought about this, like when I was a kid growing up watching wrestling, like when The Rock did movies and shit, I was like, oh, dude, it sucks. He's a wrestler going to do something else. But now, with like how social media is and Instagram and how everything's clout-based and stuff, it's like if I were to make music or make food or make a restaurant and it was just me doing it, it's like that. But if you're like WWE superstar doing it, so you get that. You know what I mean?
It's a totally different ballgame when you have something else attached to it.
For sure.
It's like, okay, well, I've proven that I can do this.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, AEW, I wrestled from over the summer. They're a new company started by the dude that owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. Awesome experience. I had a lot of fun. I'd love to work there.
I was checking out their Instagram a little bit. It looks pretty cool. They got a lot of followers, man. I mean, so obviously they're doing something right.
And they're on TNT on Wednesdays, so.
Okay, so I was going to ask, because I used to watch when it was WWF. And then so was it Raw, SmackDown, and there was another one. What was the other one?
Nitro, WCW. Nitro.
Was that what it was? Yeah.
They had ECW.
Do they? Yeah, ECW. That's what I'm thinking of. Do they still have that?
It's Raw and SmackDown now. And ECW is like their feeder program. It's called NXT. So if I were to get a deal, on NXT Wednesday nights, you kill it there, and then they bring you up to the main roster. But just that whole system, honestly, like as just being a pro wrestler, I want to be with these guys that were all legends and all killed it in pro wrestling. You know what I mean? It's like right now I'm learning from some great guys.
Of course.
And when I get to wrestle these guys, I get to learn from them.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Is that the, like for you, how do you find out who you're wrestling? Who tells you? Is it like a text you get, or is it like an email?
It's all different with different promotions. So I'll go on the road, Chicago, Tennessee.
But you don't get to decide at any point.
No, I have no pull.
You can't like partner up with somebody and be like, I want to fight you. And
no, I mean people do that on Twitter, and then some promoters are like, that's a good match, let's do it. Okay. And it happens, and you're like, sick, that's my boy. But like, okay. And sometimes a promoter will see you have a good match, and they'll be like, I want that on my show. So.
Who's your favorite fight so far?
My favorite match was probably, honestly...
Was that one you were talking about?
The first one when he cut my hair. I mean, like, my first match ever was epic because it was just like, getting in the game. And we fucking killed it. We had like 100 people come out. It was unreal. That match when he cut my hair was probably my favorite.
Wes Barkley, Maserati Wes. I remember this was a couple years ago. I was working at Maserati. Brad called me. He's like, "Man, you got any Maserati gear?" I'm like, "For what?" You know, and like, "For what, dude?" Like, and I was like, "Cause I don't even like Maseratis. They're shitty cars." And but anyways, I was laughing at I was I won't let you buy one, bro.
No, you're my car guy.
So anyways, he called me. I remember him saying that. How'd you come up with Wes Barkley? How'd you come up with Maserati Wes? How did this all come about?
Yeah, we were just like, I would think about it just as me, and like I was just, cutting promos in the mirror. That's what we call it, cutting promos, like talking shit. I'm just in the mirror doing all this, and I was like, it just wasn't hidden. So then I just started throwing some names at the wall. Maserati Wes kind of like flow together, and I just cut one at it in my basement bathroom. You know what I mean? I remember the shower, and I took it after, and I was like cutting this promo as Maserati Wes Barkley, and I was like, that's it, we're rocking. So it just kind of stuck.
It's so hard.
I switched all my social media the next day, and then I was like, we're locked in. And that's just who I am.
But yeah, Maserati Wes, man. That's fucking great. So you grew up in River?
Yep. North side.
Did you have our boy Mr. P?
Hell yeah, Mr. P knows me. He's got my autograph saved on the thing. He knows what I'm talking about. So, yeah, grew up Rocky River, Beachcliff Boulevard, north side of the track.
So I was going to say, are you NST?
Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir.
Now, are you...
You go.
Are you born and raised NST and then you go SST? Or are you born...
Yeah. No, yeah, NST, dipped out. And I'll tell all that. So, growing up, it's like, I was talking to someone this the other day. It was like so crazy. People our age, I would give it even like plus or minus 2 years. You know what I mean? I mean, most people younger than us or older than us too. But like we came up where we didn't have phones.
No, never.
Right? And being in like the north side of River, the Tangletown, you know what I mean? I was always seeing people. So it was like, growing up was amazing, right?
Of course.
And kids these days won't be able to relate because they're on their phones and they're
it's fucking wild. I know, you're right.
I can talk hours about that, but... So growing up, you're just living life and you're just like hanging out. Me and my brother would just be outside. People would just be riding by on bikes, and then you start biking and you see everyone, and it's just like such a good community. I always loved River for that. People were always like, it's the bubble. And growing up till high school, it's like I didn't really need to be out that much. And the one thing that was most of my dudes. So it's like another thing about River is like, again with that, we're all outside playing sports, baseball at the Triangle, in River, and it's like, I'm playing with top athletes. Like some of these dudes went pro hockey, some went pro lacrosse. It's like football guys that were beasts, all college recruits, and I'm playing with them. And I wasn't even the most athletic dude, that. But like
we had some badass athletes actually.
Sure. So it's like playing with them growing up. It was just like those were my sports guys. I was always in wrestling. I don't know. I'm on a tangent right now.
Go on your tangent.
I gotta talk about the Triangle. If we're talking about the Triangle,
dude. The Triangle, but people don't realize either. Like. I didn't spend it. So I'm SST since forever.
A whole different thing.
And it is really a whole different thing.
Just on that level.
We had spoken about it a little bit too. Were you able to tell like which one of your friends had money versus like which one of your friends? Is that something that was apparent to you from the views? Because I think that's a super interesting part about a lot of the guys that grew up in our grade. Yeah. It was never about that.
No, for sure.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. There's some people I'm sure, 100%. But for the majority, like
that really didn't hit me. Like
like you just didn't know.
It didn't hit me until high school, right? So the other good thing about River is, we build these relationships. Like if you're there, pretty much, you know what I mean? So
100%.
0 through 8th grade, I'm there. I got my boys that my parents were probably homies. So it's like we're already squatted up, so. Half my dudes go to Ignatius, half my dudes go to Ed.
And all those NST MILFs too, dude. Dude, the NST MILFs, bro. Do you have a girlfriend?
Wait, no, I'm single.
You're not gonna get in trouble.
Hey, man.
You're not gonna get in trouble. I'm talking about the NST MILFs. That's a compliment. So, all right, here I got a question for you.
They all go, and then I start kicking with them in high school at different parties and shit. And that's when I would see it. When they would go to their Ignatius dudes or Ed dudes or Mike's or St. Joe's, Beaumont. I went to the east side. That's the one that hit me. I went to the east side with my dudes once, and this chick's garage was bigger than like my house and my neighbors.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And I was like, holy shit.
You're like, what's up?
Yeah.
Trying to hang out later?
No, because that chick, she had an animal, the animals I've never even seen all on the wall. Like her dad was.
Oh, so you're not trying to even mess with that.
Shit. I was like, dude, he's
not going to pass that interview.
No. Hell no.
That's hilarious.
That's when it hit me.
So you grew up in River.
Yep.
You went to River. You heard about the Rocky River scandal. I had asked Sir Yacht about this the other day when he came through. Yeah. I had spoken to Mr. P about this, and I want your opinion on it. And I'm not going to lead you into anything. I want to see
details and stuff. I don't know too much of like exactly what happened.
Apparently, there was a picture.
What year is this?
20.
See, this is the only thing that
this is like 2 years ago.
Exactly, right? So it's like COVID. It's like, are people in class? Aren't they teaching from home?
That's how they got in trouble. They're on Zoom.
This is like, exactly. So this is when I kind of just like heard all that, and I was just like, kind of was like, I know what I'm thinking of it, and I'm over it. I'm not going to think about it because you guys were great. I don't know if they can see it on the camera. I got Mr. P in the house.
Yeah, Mr. P's in the house. Mr. P's in the house doing some camera work.
How many years I had you? 2 years? I think it was 2 years. Always awesome to me. Great teacher. You know, and I was like pretty good at math. So we always hit it off, you know, and sometimes people were wild, and, you know, I would go up on the board and I always wrote my signature. He saved him, and it was like a joke, and it was like our thing, you know. I was like, sick. I had him the next year, he pulled it up, and I was already like,
you're like, what's up?
The man in the class.
I'm already here for you.
Yeah, so, but it's just like that stuff. It's like bro, it's like, I can probably count on this hand how many teachers in 0 through 12 that I didn't like in River. You know what I mean?
I don't think there's a lot of teachers that we didn't like. I just think that we had one teacher particularly that was a fucking pervert. So that's why when I saw it, you know, I was like, damn. I was like, I can't believe, you know. I love how Wes Barkley's looking at me like, I can't believe he's saying this shit.
I don't know.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, you do your thing. I mean, I just like.
So do you get drug tested for your wrestling?
Not in the Independents, no.
Not the Independents.
You're all over. I mean, there's like commissions you got to go through sometimes in different states, but
okay.
Right now it's pretty much just rocking and rolling.
Are you natty?
Yeah.
Are you?
I look like I'm on gas?
No, I just fucking had to ask.
Right there.
Yeah, I just gotta ask. I see it on YouTube all the time. You natty or not? And I'm always like, dude, I gotta ask Wes Barkley because he's a wrestler.
Shit. I was in Los Angeles last week at the LA Fitness.
Okay.
And it was a war zone. Like, I'm a big gym dude.
Right.
It's a war zone in there. Weights are not racked right. There's machine shit all over.
Oh, really?
Weights are done wrong. And I was like, bro, why does this gym look so familiar? I was also like, I'm never coming back here.
Okay.
But I was like, dude, this sucks to be out here at this gym. And I looked up and they had this thing on the wall. I'm like, this is where that Vitali dude filmed the Do You Even Lift Bro skits.
Oh, no way.
I feel like that gym just went fucking mayhem.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, see, that sucks, though, whenever you go into those places. That sounds like a Steelyard Walmart.
Oh, yeah. It was spot on.
Right?
That's spot on.
Like, you go into Steelyard Walmart, dude, and it is like fucking... Dude, you would think somebody walked down the aisles and just had their hands out and were just, like, fucking popping things off. And I remember one time, I just walked through the clothes the one time. I'm like, what the fuck happened over here,
Don't they have
bro?
a good food spot over there, though? It's like they got that chicken place. It's like Culver's Chicken or something like that.
I don't know. Over at Steelyard?
Yeah, there's like a hidden gem.
I used to live over there with my my kid's mom, and we used to. I was a Steelyard frequent flyer, man.
Okay. I never really pulled up there. Just that chicken.
Yeah, you know, it's not the spot.
There we go.
It's not the spot. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if you're gonna go somewhere and Steelyard's your last resort, then all right. Yeah. You know, but you can't be doing it like all the time. Right. So you go to. So you don't really have an opinion on the Rocky River thing because you don't really invest much time into looking at it. See,
100%.
Yeah, I'm at the time I must have too much time on my hands.
You know. Yeah.
You're like, I don't really care.
It's just like if there's evidence that is showing stuff and everyone sees it, and there's evidence that's showing other stuff and people don't, you know. Or
no, but I can appreciate you not really having an opinion because you didn't really look into it.
No.
So shout out you.
Thanks.
All right, so then you go to OU.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So my whole life I wanted to be a pro wrestler, though. I know we kind of went off on that.
Yeah.
For kindergarten, so it's like I knew I was going to do this shit. 8th grade, freshman year, I go to a show in Philadelphia. I go, I'm locked in. I'm doing this. I was trying to get trained out there. They're like, bro, you're 13. We can't train you. But I was like, I'm locked in. I'm not really telling too many people in high school this because, you know, all my dudes, again, are like baller sports athletes, and I didn't want to, like, not look cool. I mean, it wasn't even a big deal, but I wasn't like, I love wrestling, you know?
Right.
So I just kind of kept it low key, but I knew I was going to do it, and my dudes that knew, they were cool with it, you know? But I was just like, I'm going to this training school when I graduate. My parents are like, my mom's like, you can do it. You know, my dad's like, you got to go to college, right?
Of course.
So go to OU. I'm just like, my dudes are going here. Cool, I'll do it. But, you know, it was eating me up every day I went to OU. I wasn't at wrestling school.
So were you able to work on it at all at OU, like your skill, or like?
No, I just studied.
Because where are you gonna?
Exactly, you got to be in there and you got to learn. I mean, there was like interviews, and bro, this is 2012, so YouTube isn't even what it is now.
Right.
There's barely any stuff, but you could see like some behind the scenes interviews with wrestlers, and I would always watch that and just try to pick up as much as possible. And like there was no chance I was I stopped watching wrestling though in high school. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I loved it, but then it started getting like so corporate and washed down, and it was like starting to be like super kid friendly.
Right.
And I liked some more gritty stuff, so that's when I started getting into independents, like the company I wrestled for, AID.
I understand.
And they were doing shit locally. I was like, this guy's here locally, and they'll even bring in an old WWE dude. Like this
of course.
10 years ago, 15 years ago, and it's like,
I bet you they paid great for those like guest features too.
oh yeah,
You know what I mean? When they're like, hey, come on this.
for sure. And that's the thing. Another reason, if you go to WWE, you have a 2 to 5 year run, then you can come back and.
Dude, look at Logan Paul.
Bro, that dude is killing it. Yeah, but sorry, I just went off.
No, dude, go off.
Yeah,
that's why we're here.
I just knew I was gonna always be a wrestler.
When you were at OU, were you partying a lot? Were you like, what did you take out of college? Were you glad you went? What did it help further your career? What is your whole take on that?
Absolutely. So wrestling wise, I'm just gonna get this out of the way. So like the more you put, is this with anything? You know what I mean? The more you put into stuff, the more you get out of it. Of
course.
I learned this in accounting class at OU. They're like, Tiger Woods started golf when he was 3, so by the time he's 13, he's already 10 years in the game. I'm like, sick. So if I start wrestling at 18, by the time I'm 28, I'm 29 right now, I'll be 10 years in the game.
Yeah, of course.
I'm 4 years in the game right now. So it's like...
You're doing really good.
But I have life experiences that I learned at OU that I wouldn't have. So let's say someone starts training 16, 17, 18, but they haven't lived life.
Right.
They don't know shit, and they just go in wrestling. They do bad business. They get themselves in trouble. They get into bad situations. I did all that shit before I got into wrestling. You know what I mean? So I already lived life. So it was like, I just looked at it different. So I'm super grateful for that. Grateful for the friends I met at OU. It was amazing networking. I'm grateful for everybody I met there.
So you're at OU. And we're not going to dive too deep into this. You get busted with some drugs.
Yeah, I was partying a lot. I was making the bad decisions, and it was just like, I was down bad probably freshman year, just like partying way too much and just frying my brain and shit. And there was these signs. This is when I knew it was like, this is too weird not to be like fate. So I was walking to my dude's place. This had to be sophomore year. I think I got an underage. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, okay.
It's like I'm 19. I already got an underage. I'm like not allowed to drink. They're like gonna.
To go off on a tangent quick, I know exactly what those cops are fucking dicks too sometimes, because they'll walk up to you, dude, and they're just like, "Hey man, what are you drinking?" They'll be like, "Oh, I'm drinking a Bud Light." They're just like, "Oh sweet, let me see your ID."
Yeah,
you're like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. All right.
I got mine here. But
so, anyways, you get. What do you have on you at this point? If you don't want me to ask, you don't have to tell the whole story.
Finish the fate story. I thought that was gonna be good.
All right, go ahead.
I don't know.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah. Well, I'm just.
You guys be the judge.
I'm walking down the street to my dude's place, and there's like it's like a windy ass day, and I'm walking down the street, and there's just something in the middle of the road that's just like not moving. It just caught my eye. I was like, what is that? I go pick it up, and it's like a pro wrestling flyer. And this is when I'm like down, and I'm like, dude, I gotta be a wrestler. And I go and see that, and I was just like, that's weird. Everything else flew away. Like blankets are flying. It said fucking windy. This little flyer with like some jabronis on it. But it was like local wrestling. I was like, this is so wild, bro. I was like, I could do this. Do it, whatever. That weekend, I go home for Thanksgiving, right? I go to LA Fitness here, crazy, with my dad. He's like, hey, let's go work out. I'm like, I never work out with my dad. I was like, sure, I'll go with you. And then Dolph Ziggler's there, WWE wrestler from West Park. I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy.
Right.
So, I'm like, not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm also like, this is fate. So I go up to him, I'm like, hey, can I talk to you after you're done working out? He takes that phone out. He's like, all right. Puts it back in. He was looking at me like that, and I was just like, he's not gonna come up to me. Comes up to me at the end of his workout. Hey, what's up, man? What'd you want?
That's awesome.
I was so nervous, and I just told him, hey, I'm at OU. Boom, 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 boom. He was super cool. I told him to be a pro wrestler. He's like, you got to just study the legends, and good luck, man. Hope everything goes good. And then 10 years later, I'm at AEW. He's backstage. I don't know if I'm not supposed to say that, but I see him there, and I'm like, hey, you told me that, and he's like, dude, that's awesome, man. And I just wrestled for AEW. I'm like, that's sick.
When I saw that,
he's a man too.
When I saw you post that, and they're like, Wes Barkley, and dude, you're like, that's me. I literally laughed out loud, bro. That shit is so funny, man.
But no, that was amazing.
How nervous were you for that?
I was so nervous, but then I was like, bro, I got this. It was amazing. Doing it at the Wolstein Center, fucking sick.
That had to be crazy.
Sick. I'm hooked.
Like surreal for you.
Hooked. Yeah.
Okay. So we're at OU. Mm-hmm. You get busted. What did you have, if you don't mind me?
I'm not gonna.
We're not gonna say
what it is, but
it wasn't good.
Yeah, but it wasn't everything online, because you can't believe everything you read. So
that's kind of what we're trying to. That's what we're trying to clarify.
Tupac's still alive if you read everything you read online. Facts.
Okay.
Maybe he is. I don't know.
Do you think at that time you had a drug problem?
50 to 70%, I would say. Pretty much. The more so was I was just making some bad decisions. I mean, see, I don't want to say.
You're so young.
Yeah, and I don't want to say this.
How old are you? 20?
I think I was 21, maybe 22.
Okay.
Maybe 21. I don't know. It was bad decisions, and I just like my house got robbed, right?
Damn.
Yeah. So at OU, see, I can't really talk about it too much, but it put me in a bad decision, and I wasn't thinking straight, and then I started making bad things, and then I just started seeing things, and I go, I really don't want to be this guy.
I don't blame you.
People are just throwing shit at you, and I'm like, honestly, this isn't who I am. I like partying and shit. If I get some shit for free, that's fun. And I'm an outgoing, friendly person that I had friends, and they were like, hey, you're our dude. Like, we just want to come kick it with you, but can we get some weed or some shit?
It's always something.
Yeah, and they just want to come kick it. And I was like, these are my boys. I'm helping them out. Boom, 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 boom. Shit starts snowballing, and I was just like, dude, I don't want to do this shit.
So that's when because like, you can't believe everything you read. That was a phenomenal point, because you... or you can't believe everything you hear. When I was...
Yeah, bro. They call it in wrestling telephone, tell a wrestler. I tell you some shit, by the time it gets to Mr. P, he's right here. It's two different things. So that's why I always ask people,
dude,
what do you hear?
I had people, like, even with the stuff that I went through, had told me some things that I was like, man, I didn't know I did that.
You see how that's right.
And I was like, and you're just like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then, but I think you also get to a point, like I did at least, where I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks, right? Like, you just kind of get to that point. So anyways, from a mental standpoint, you had gone through those things, and I appreciate you talking about that, because I know you are doing your thing, and it's kind of, it could be a tough subject, but
Thank you.
I want to know, like, mentally after that had happened, are you just like where are you at?
Man, it was like I was rocked. So like, even during that, you go through all that shit, and then you go out, and then you got to go home. You know what I mean? So it's like you're like went through all this shit, and then you're like, now I got to be with my parents, and it's like I just disappointed them. I let them down. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they're just looking at you like, dude, what the fuck? You just fucked everything up. And I'm just like, fuck, But it was more so like, we're getting through this. I never really dwell on shit, and we can talk about that later when we talk about more mental health stuff, because I'm always open to talking about that stuff. But in that situation, I was like, I'm not going to jail.
No.
I'm making everything I need to do to not go to jail, and I can't even think that. So I had this. That is one thing in my life that I just felt like in probably the last forever, that was like the most focused I ever was, and mentally I was like only thinking of a desired outcome, and I didn't think of anything else. I didn't let anything else come into my mind. And again, this is 7 years ago, so social media isn't as hot as it is now.
Right.
Like, now I'm fucked up on Instagram and Twitter, I'm scrolling, and we can get to that later. But at that time, I was like focused. I was like, what do they need me to do? All right, they said go to Cleveland State. They said go talk to a psychologist, and they said get a job. I was like, boom, 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 best employee. Went and talked to the psychologist once that I talked to in high school. Right? Is that what they're called? Psychiatrist? Something.
Like guidance counselor?
Yeah, just some. And he just looked at me. He was like, all right, that's an hour. See ya. And then I went to Cleveland State, and I was like, I'm gonna be the best student I could be, and I got a job, and I was like, let's go. I'm focused. They go, we need you to come down and do a drug test. Boom, I'm going down clean. I'm not going out. I'm just focused. I'm at home. I started like painting and shit. I was just
kind of finding a new normal for yourself.
Exactly.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Restarting's hard.
You're good.
Anybody?
No. I thought you said we're restarting.
No.
Yeah.
Restarting just in general, like when you have to restart your life.
For sure.
It's hard. I don't ever think that anybody should ever be like. I don't think anybody should ever be afraid of it.
No.
If that makes sense.
You gotta get out of your comfort zone, bro.
You gotta get out of your comfort zone. And
it's on anything.
Yeah, I truly believe that.
100%. No matter if it's an outside event affecting you, or you're just being complacent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Because I think I see a lot of people that are maybe content. Like, for instance, for you, the easy route for you, in my opinion, would have been, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get a job that's 9 to 5, and that's going to be that.
Exactly.
You know, and like, how boring. How fucking boring does that sound?
100%.
You know?
100%.
And that's why, for me, this is great, because this is like a sober hobby for me. Nice. Well, you know.
Yeah.
I ate some edibles, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it's a sober hobby.
But no, 100%, bro. Because I was talking to someone about that yesterday, and I think about that all the time. And it's like that shit is just never how I saw my life going.
Right.
I knew from a young age, but I didn't realize it until senior in high school that my purpose in life is to entertain people.
Okay.
Right. It's to make people laugh. It's to entertain people. And then my second side one that I've realized and later is just that I want people that, first off, support me, or people that I call friends,
right,
to do their best thing. You know what I mean? So when you're like, I'm doing this podcast, I'm like, whatever I can do to help.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that. Like, you have no idea.
But it's like, I want people to chase what they want to do when it's not in the shit
right.
we're talking about.
It's not in that like little box.
Boom. But if my dude's like, hey, I want to be an accountant, I'll be like, dude, whatever I can do to help you pass the accountant test, I got you. You know what I mean?
See, that's phenomenal.
What any of my dudes, I want them to be the top dogs. And more especially not working 9 to 5s, but if they are, I got you. But real first passion, entertaining people. Yeah.
I always say, and I've said this a couple of times now, even on this podcast, I've said, there's a lot of people in your life that want the best for you, but they don't necessarily believe in you, right? And as far as like support goes from family, friends, I'm sure, man, like when you're like, I'm gonna be a professional wrestler, people are like, yeah, good luck, you know.
Sure.
Or you're like, you get a lot of those people too. Like, I know Brad, for instance, big fan. You know what I mean?
Legend, dude. He is.
Like I said about him earlier.
Crucial though, in getting people together to go to shows and.
Dude, Brad can get people together.
For sure.
Brad's
a producer. He's a producer.
He's a producer, but it's so cool to see how like, yeah, Brad Wolf is an absolute legend. That's so funny. So, but you see like all these people supporting you now, and I think it's kind of funny. Because I'm always like, okay, like now you're on the, you know what I mean? And it's got to feel kind of good.
I don't dwell too much on
No, I'm not saying you do. I just think it's got to feel kind of good to kind of give somebody that little nod.
I'll give you this. I know you're throwing it up, and I'm the AEW. That's one.
I believe it.
There's sometimes you post a picture with the belt you won, and you get some clout, and you get some people out of the woodwork, and you're like, that's kind of dope. But when I hit AEW, it was just like all these people out of the woodwork, and it's like, all right, cool.
I think it's fun.
Thank you. Yeah,
I think it's fun to watch. I think it's fun to see other people doing well. I took a piece of advice from, Matt Kavesdi.
Yeah, legend.
And Coves had said to me, this is like a month or two ago, he was like,
always drums.
You do something, no matter what, like every day, do one thing good for somebody. You know what I mean? One thing good.
Yeah,
every day, man. One thing good. And
for sure.
So I think we were all lucky to be around people like that growing up.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%. Great.
Because I think that also helps us in the situations that we're in. Like, I'm sure when you got in your little situation, you were like, fuck, dude, like, what am I going to do now?
That's when it hit first.
I bet.
I think after that situation, I didn't even give a fuck about the wrestling, like who supports. Because I was down bad. And the people that reached out during that, I was like, I'm so grateful for you.
Of course.
I just need people just being like, you got this.
Well, people are so quick to just sit there and go, he's crazy.
Yeah.
Or like
they heard some other shit and they're like, he's...
Yeah, and people would just do that. That's why I like sitting down and having these interviews, because the reality of it is you could have a perception of whomever it might be, like even Mr. P, right? You don't fucking know. A lot of people don't know.
They don't know any of
it. And like with you, I can't...
You just kind of told me about it in high school, though.
Yeah, we all kind of got a little hint of it, and I think the other side of it too is like, for us to be able to sit there and go, oh, okay, well, I could say I sat down and interviewed him and I asked him these questions. At least at that point, I can say, I can make a general assessment of what kind of person you are.
Yeah.
Versus like other people be like, wow, I see him on Instagram, he posts this, or he says this. It's like, man, you don't fucking know.
100%.
So you go through all that. What's your first big break?
Wrestling-wise?
Yeah.
Or just what do you mean?
Well, actually, no. I'm glad you said that. Let's start with this. What was your first big break? Like mentally, at what point were you like, hey man, I'm gonna figure this out, I'm not gonna stay down, I'm gonna you know what I mean?
That I'm like, I got this, and then when we finally finished everything in the situation, it was like a load off my back, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. And I'm working at this, and it all kind of just popped up, like everything just started rolling. You're getting those vibes, it's like manifesting stuff, and everything just falls into your life, and you're just like, I'm on point, this is what I'm supposed to do. Because when shit isn't manifesting, in my opinion, I don't know, I'm not super hippie, but I'm
little bit?
Medium hippie.
Medium hippie.
I guess if they
we saw you at the Cleveland Vegan, bro. We know. Busted. Dude, the Cleveland Vegan's delicious. I'm just saying, we saw the video.
Yeah. No, so just manifesting, and when stuff isn't lining up in your life, I think you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
I agree.
So I think that was probably the big break, the first big break, but then that's when wrestling started after that, and it was just like go time. So I was working at this restaurant, and they had wrestling on the TV, and this dude came in, and he was like, "Hey, is that wrestling on?" I'm like, and it's eating me up. You know what I mean? Because we're still in this. I just beat this, and now it's go time wrestling, and my dad, parents are like, "Hey, you should
yeah, now's not the time to bring up I want to be a wrestler.
Wrestling. How about you finish college and then maybe you do the wrestling thing?" And I was just like, "Fuck, I don't want to wait any longer, bro. You saw what just happened to me over it." So wrestling's on, and I just eat me up, and I'm kind of still getting to watch, but it's eating me up. And this guy's like, "Hey, I do commentary at AIW." And he's like, "You ever hear of him?" I'm like, "Yeah." I knew the independents and stuff. He's like, "I got 2 tickets. I'll get you one to the show Saturday." I'm like, "Sick." So I go to the show, and I'm getting hammered because it started eating me up when I got there.
Oh, I bet.
I'm like, dude, 1 match in, I'm like, dude, I got to do this. It was epic. It was first independent show in 10 years I went to. I was like, dude, I got to go. So I'm drinking. Dude said, "You had a good time." He beats me. You get another tickets again. The next time, it might have been the first or second. I can't even remember. Somehow Gary Barnage is there. And he goes backstage, and they bring me down with Barnage. So I come in with Barnage, and I'm talking to the owners of the company, and I was like, "Dude, I'm signing up." They're like, "Well, email him tomorrow." And so I left there, and I was like, I can't not email him. I can't hit him up in 3 years and be like, "Hey, I finished college. I want to do it."
Yeah, what the fuck?
Next day. I go, "It's go time."
Talk about losing an opportunity if you...
So I signed up. My dad was kind of salty. He's like, "I wanted you to finish college." But I'm like, "Dude, I'm going to do college. I'm going to work, and I'm going to train 2 days a week. I'm doing it all." He's like, "All right."
And that's what you did.
Yeah, and then I broke my back 6 months after.
So how'd that happen?
Wrestling, training.
So
moved wrong, landed, folded in half, broke my L2 vertebrae, fractured my L2 vertebrae. Bang, damn. We go to this thing.
So you couldn't move?
It fucking that brother.
How does that work?
I landed.
Like, how does this work? How did you get to the hospital on a stretcher?
I walked my ass in there.
That's what I'm saying. You broke your back. I don't know how this works. I've never broken my back.
I'm like, dude, my back hurts. Like, get out of the ring. It was like that. I'm just like, dude, my back is messed up. They're like, okay, and I'm like, dude, no, this is bad. They're like, all right, we go to Sheetz. Because there was just like the only place open after training.
All right.
The gas station food. We're all eating there. I'm like, damn, my back's fucked up. They're like, all right. I'm like, all right, whatever. Go home, sleep, wake up. I had to work at like 9 or 10. I wake up and I'm like, I text my boss. I'm like, I can't get out of bed.
You couldn't move. Yeah, this next day is just fucked.
Like, wow. I'm like, no, I think I broke my back. They're like, all right. I'm like, I've never called off. I never called off anywhere before in my life on that.
Okay.
So I was like, dude, I'm fucked up. So I go, the doctor, I go to urgent care.
Oh yeah, a little urgent care.
Yeah, they scan it, right? Dude, fuck that
place.
If you're gonna have me talk shit on anybody, hey, brother, hey, dude, they brought it on themselves. Look, I went there and
that's so
I
fucking
slipped on
funny.
a piece of paper.
It's so true.
Right? Everyone wanted to make fun of me about that. I was hauling ass down the hallway. I just spiked the levels. I'm hauling ass down the highway. Funny. It's the what's the shit? It was the dinner dance or something, 8th grade. When you get like your little homecoming gimmick.
Dude, Scott Meredith got caught smoking weed at that dinner dance when we were in 8th grade. Shout out Murdoch.
The only dude that was wearing wrestling shirts in high school, so always shout out to that guy. I was like, I got you. He had a John Cena shirt.
Funny.
I'm like, I got you, brother. But we were trying to get home and get ready for it, and I was hauling ass, and me and my dude Jake Jones, we were hauling ass, and slipped, boom, landed my elbow. And I'm like, damn, that hurt. And he's laughing his ass off. And I got back up. I kept running,
Yeah.
And then I'm like, dude, I need some water. And I remember him just like laughing at me while I'm getting water because I was like pale white. And then I go to the urgent care and they're like, yeah, it's just like a sprain. You sprained your elbow. And then I'm like, all right. And they gave me like a little shoulder gimmick or whatever. So I'm like shoulder gimmicked up. And they called me Monday. They're like, yeah, you actually broke your elbow.
Dude,
right?
those.
So that's 8th grade. So when I break my back, they go, yeah, it's just a minor sprain. You're good. And I'm like, I guess it's a minor sprain. These fucking sprains suck. Monday hit me up. Hey, they told you, right? I was like, what?
Yeah.
They're like, you got a...
Oh, shit. So they called you back, and then they're like, was it the urgent care that called you back?
Yeah, they're like, we sent it to the orthopedic, and you got a fracture. You got to get there, like, today. I was like, I knew this.
Isn't that crazy, though, that, like, you can go to these urgent cares, and you got somebody that's a doctor, and they're like... I know a lot of amazing. I can't say I've ever met like a bad doctor.
Hey, brother, did I just not tell you 2 of them?
But like, damn, bro, like, yeah, dude, the urgent. I've never really heard great things about that urgent care.
No, but you're right. But I mean, this is kind of when I was over that shit because I go to this doctor. He puts me in this brace. I'm wearing a back brace for 6 months. I'm at Cleveland State, just trying to. I got all this shit going on at the same time, and I'm just trying to. I'm trying to be a good person at Cleveland State, get good grades, and just be focused, not partying and going out with my college friends. I'm trying to do this work, 40-50, running the #1 food truck in Cleveland, facts. So I hit that off the list, right? And then they put me in this brace, 6 months, it's just sticking out. Some kid in class was like, hey, you got a back brace on? I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, I didn't know. I'm like, yeah, I'm trained to be a pro wrestler. I broke my back. I didn't tell anybody. I'm fucking laser focused on doing this shit. And I get the back brace off, and the doctor's just like, you're good.
I will say, it kind of came out of nowhere that you were doing this. Even for me,
I had it in my back pocket the whole time.
For me, it was like, damn, like, he's doing this. And then it was like, damn, and I'll be the first one to tell you the honest truth. I was like, damn, he's doing this. Like, how's he gonna get there? You know?
Yeah,
and then like as you see as you progressed, I was like, damn, this motherfucker's got something. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing something here. Well, but you seem to enjoy it, which is I think that's the most special. That's the best part about it.
Love it.
Is this? I mean, obviously.
I gotta get this line in. I'm sorry.
Go put it in.
I'm being a bad guy.
Toss it in.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch. That's what my dad always tells me whole life, right? So I wasn't even going to be talking about the wrestling shit until I knew I had a match. You know what I mean? I wasn't going to be like, I'm doing this, and all I ever wanted to do was be wrestling.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, well, when are you going to wrestle? And then like 2 years later, finally.
Throw
I was like,
around.
I'm getting through all this shit. And then I was like, when I have a date and I got tickets, that's when I'll finally tell my friends.
Good for you.
I kind of told some people low key, but I was just like,
Right.
I'm doing this, and it's for me, I'm doing it.
It's hard when you get excited. And I think the other thing, and I'm fully guilty of it, but I think it's also harder. I think that, I don't know if you've experienced this, but there's a harsh reality behind telling somebody good news and them not really being truly happy for you or excited for you, right?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so
I've seen that.
I think now for me, I've done really well in like surrounding myself with good people, people that support me. For you,
That's key.
It's been everything. So
We're the sum of your circle, you know what I mean? That's like the Pythagorean theorem, right? Something like that. A plus B equals C.
there you go.
But you gotta square root it or something.
Mr. Polanski's about to throw up.
But that's what it is, dude. You're the sum of your whole circle that you kick.
I agree. Well, I agree, but I think the other side of it, you're 100% right. I mean, I just think for like when you're not surrounded by the right people. I mean, you are who your friends are, but the negativity can fuck with you.
100%.
So do you?
In any environment, you go into the work. My bad.
No, you're good. Did that take time for you, especially as you kind of grow, right? Because it's not that you're the most famous wrestler of all time, but like, let's be real, Wes Barkley, and I'll just call this now 2/6/23, 6:27 p.m. I'm gonna say, like, no doubt, WWE.
I appreciate it.
So like, I'm just saying.
Appreciate that. That's the dream.
It's being recorded too, so that's perfect.
All right.
But do you think it's important now that you keep that circle small, and or is that kind of tough with a fan base too?
Honestly, it's organically getting smaller.
Okay.
Because I still talk to all my close friends.
Right.
But they got other stuff going on.
Of course.
And it's like a lot of them, are doing really well, but they're starting families and settling down and stuff. Some of them are still going out. Brad's still my go-to guy.
Of course.
We're still rocking, and it's like...
Yeah, if you don't want to wait in a line at a club downtown, just call Brad.
He's connected everywhere, that's why.
Hey, man, I know Brad Wolf. Oh, all right. Come on in.
He's a mayor. But it just kind of happened organically, and it's like the people I can kick it with most or relate to most are my wrestling dudes.
Of course.
Because we're on the road every weekend. I'm kicking it with them every weekend because I'll go on the road every weekend with guys. I'm in different cars. I'm setting up cars with my boys. We're all in the same mind state. Let's have the best matches we can, but let's also talk about wrestling, get better, and do it. And it's like other people that are, finance, accounting, business managers, own their own business. They're thinking about that. If they can come to one of my shows, I appreciate it, but people are busy, so it's like if you don't come to a show, I do not mind. Not like I want people at my show, right? But I'm saying if you have other stuff, don't think it's like the end of the world that you're like, damn, I can't make it. It's like, make one that you can make. I'm all over the place. We'll make it happen. Just like, I don't know, maybe cut.
Well, no, I think it's cool. Like,
I appreciate everybody that supports me, and I always will know who supports me.
100%.
I know people got other shit going on, and it ain't all about me, so I don't worry about it. But it's just like,
my circle's organically small.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
and I think you should be even more selfish because I think you deserve it.
Well, thanks.
But they have,
appreciate it.
You know,
low key though. We're on the road a lot, and I like kicking up solo sometimes. You know. And
yeah, I think everybody in some capacity.
You got to, man. You can't be around people. You can't have no alone time. You know, that's what people dwell on too much. And
So when you wrestle, I mean, there's a lot of training and stuff like that involved. You've been like actually like hit with a fucking chair so like
hit with the trash can Saturday.
What is the
went through a door, didn't break. Those things are hard.
Okay, so what
came out? That's why.
That's kind of my question. How real is it way more real than people assume it to be?
100%. They think it's trampolines and springies, and I'm not trying to be that guy that's like wrestling's fucking. It's real where you hurt. You know, it's like, dude, I go to these shows, middle of nowhere. Sometimes you wrestle in front of 5 people in West Virginia, right? No,
that's probably fucking awesome, dude.
It is wild, but sometimes you show up to the show. It was in the middle of nowhere, Terre Haute, however you say it, Indianapolis. I don't know.
Dude, people from Indiana are weird as fuck.
Indiana, in a chop shop garage type place, 6 fans. That ring was brutal. Right?
I believe it.
So it's like these boards are uneven. You're falling on that, and you know how to fall, but you're hitting an uneven board. It fucking hurts.
Is there anything?
Steel done, boom. You go through a chair, that shit hurts. Doors, tables, thrown off a balcony.
So like when you got in that ring, was there any part of you that's like, dude, like this ring's gonna fuck me up?
I mean, you kind of just know it. You're like, oh, this is what you got to do.
That is so fucked.
You're like, all right. Like, you get out there, you don't know.
What's the most hurt you've ever gotten in a match? Besides breaking your back, I think is obviously huge.
Yeah,
but
that was at training, so I wasn't even wrestling yet.
But like in a match, like what's a notable time you got hit and you're like, damn, like I got fucking
shit right now. I got hit with some doors and chairs and shit.
Really?
I'm trying to think of the craziest one. That's hard. I can't pinpoint anything. There's been some times where you just go super hard. I'm bad at stretching. I'm going to be honest. I got to work on stretching and getting warmed up before, because sometimes I'm just chilling in the chair listening to music, and I would just pour some water in my head, you know? And I just hit the curtain and just go down. I swear to God. Sometimes I'm just lazy.
There is no warm up at all.
No, I'm just like chilling, and they play my music, and then I just pour some water, and I get, and I go out there and just rock. And it's
so funny.
And then the next day, you're like, damn, I'm banged up. Like, that's how I was this weekend. I had the show Saturday. Yesterday, I was beat. But today, I'm feeling new muscle soreness. You're like, damn, what happened there? I'm like all scratched up and shit. Like,
so have the ladies been good to you since you got into this like wrestling thing, man? No, he's pushing away on us. So I gotta ask: are you like just don't want to talk about the ladies? So you're not dating anybody.
Single man, I'm married to the game.
And he's not interested in talking about it.
No, I'm married to the game, bro. It's like I'm trying, whatever, Hey.
He's not trying to wrestle naked, from what I'm understanding here. You know what I mean? You guys picking up what I'm throwing down? So, family-wise, how's everybody doing in the family?
Great. Super supportive.
Okay.
Amazing. Parents going to shows. Logan, my brother, legend, all-time legend, Hall of Fame. I'll make a Hall of Fame for him to go in it.
How old is he now?
He's 28, I think. 28.
28? How old are you?
27.
You're 29?
29. I just turned 29 a month ago.
Okay.
Yeah, freshly 29.
Okay.
I feel like I'm 26. That was a good one.
Not after you keep fucking running through walls and shit like that.
I'm 21, bro. I'm in like the best shape of my life. I'm in the best mental spot of my life. I'm just keep getting better daily.
So what do you do? What's a day in the life? What's a day in the life of Wes Barkley? What do you?
I'll do it through show day. We'll do it through show day.
How many days a week are you training?
So we got wrestling training Tuesdays and Thursdays. I've been kind of slacking on that. I got to get up there more. Tuesdays, probably always wrestling training. I'm in the gym 5 days a week. I'm on the road probably twice. There, back. Sometimes you got overnights. My goal is to wrestle every weekend.
Short-term goals. Dude,
it's crazy. I was like, that's like the hardest thing I put down this year, because I always do my goals on New Year's.
Right.
I always write it out for the next year. And like last year, I put some like really spicy ones.
Okay.
And I hit on like a lot of them. And
okay.
It was like AEW. It's like, okay, so if AEW, get a shot at AEW was my goal for last year. What's next? It's like, get signed. Okay, I got to do better than just be there. Maybe get there twice, get back, whatever. Like 5 wrestling companies, I hit 4 of them that I want, or 3. You know what I mean? Like, didn't hit WWE, didn't hit this other TV company, but hit this huge company, NWA, this other company, Game Changer Wrestling. Like, hit all this shit, and I was just like, damn, okay, now I hit that last year. This year I gotta keep going. So
that's gotta be
short term is just, man, that's just like,
yeah. Is it kind of everything? Because for you, I mean,
you
you
need to sit back and put the short term, because right now I've been thinking like long term. It's like get signed.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, yeah,
I think I take a step back and break it down, and it's like short term for this year is wrestle 50 matches.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
I broke
And how
down
many did you wrestle last year?
43.
Okay. Okay.
And last year my goal was 50.
Well, so you did pretty damn good.
So, but I'm like, I didn't break it, so I can't go goals 50, hit 43, go to 70 matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, I got to put it at 50. I got to hit 50 this year. So right now I'm on 1 a week, which is solid.
That's great.
Yeah, I got a little tour coming up. I'm working.
Do you think that's going to be challenging for you for your body?
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to be a new challenge for you there?
Not new, because I've been doing this for 4.5 years. So
Okay.
I'm starting to realize that, dude, I gotta be stretching better. I gotta be in the gym working out smarter and not harder. You know, I go to the cryogenic place once a week, or not once a week. Sorry, they know I'm there every day. I'm on the wall, right? I'm tripping. Cryogenic. What I was gonna say was I need to start doing yoga at least once a week. I gotta be stretching better, working on balance, like cardio. You just gotta be all in it, and it's like so many wrestlers train like bodybuilders and stuff, right? But if you train like a performance, you know, not even CrossFit type shit, but you know what I mean, like more athletic stuff and not bodybuilder.
Right.
Not beach muscles, actually, athletic muscles. Like
I understand.
Have longevity. So I'm just learning, dude. That's why I gotta wrestle these top dogs and try to pick their brain.
I think it's really cool though. So how'd you get the call for the AEW opportunity?
Great question. So that was an amazing day too.
I believe it.
Yeah. So we got a contact there. We reach out to him. Everybody from the training school, you know, we all reach out to him in January, and because that's when they were in Cleveland, right, the first time. So we got brought in. I just chilled backstage, ate catering, drank coffee, just kicked it, right? Got paid. All right, sick.
Yeah.
You know. But I'm like, I want to wrestle there next time. So then they were coming back in June. I reached out to him about a Columbus show. He didn't hit me back. I reached out to him about a Detroit show. Didn't hit me back. And then the Cleveland show. He's like, hey, we'll use you. I'm like, sick. I'm cool with that, you know. They're like, we'll give you more money if you drive people from the hotel to the venue. And they were at the Wolstein Center.
Okay.
So it wasn't a bad drive, you know. So I was like, I'll do that because I don't know anybody here. You know what I mean? Like, if you went to work at a new job, you just come in the first day, you're just like, I'm the new guy, you know, and maybe you're taking someone else's job.
Of
right?
course, yeah.
You'd be like, who's this other dude? And you're like, you know, I was like, I know like 5 people here. I don't know anybody at WWE, but I got like 5 people that I'm pretty close with in AEW. So when they're like, you want to drive people? I was like, absolutely. So now I get to pick more people's brains. I got Matt Hardy and Christian were there in the car.
It's amazing I say this all the time. It's so much more to do with who you know than what you know. Yeah. You know, I mean, like exactly. Some of those opportunities.
So that's what this dude told me. He said, you know, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know.
Yeah.
Right? But then he said it's not even that. It's about who you know that'll go to bat for you. So he said that. I said that once, and
that's a good one. Yeah, it makes you think.
But
for
he
sure.
said that, and I was just like, dude, that's on point. Because people can like you, but in wrestling, it's like cutthroat. They're like, there's only so many wrestling spots. If someone gets more popular than you lose your job. So it's a super cutthroat business, no matter what level you're on.
Yeah, and I feel like crazy. Too, like if you, like you said, have someone go to bat for you, dude, I feel it because I'll ask people to do the interview.
Yeah,
and they'll be like. Some people will be like...
I just had to get the timing right, but I led you around, so I was like, dude, I'm sorry.
No, I appreciate it. No, it's all good. No, like I said, I appreciate it. I think there's... But some people, they'll be like, oh, yeah, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. And then they won't do it. Or they'll be like, oh, maybe this and that. I'm like, okay. Like, and I don't get offended by it or anything like that. But I think also, like, it could be misleading maybe what the podcast could be about, right? Some people don't really like to open up a little, you know what I mean?
I'm open, brother. That's why I was down to do it.
And I think a lot of people, and I appreciate that. I
appreciate you having the podcast because it's going to get people to talk about different stuff than you hear on every podcast.
No, I like hearing, especially when we can have people listening that, like, whether they relate or we know them. And I think that's also fun, too, to have somebody like you come on. And I know you do have a really good following because I've seen those signs when I see those posts, the Maserati Wes fucking signs. Dude, people get rowdy at your fucking concert. So where are you living now?
I'm in Lakewood.
You're in Lakewood.
Yeah, I got a little spot over there.
Do you
close to training, close to everywhere I need to be at. I just do that, close to getting on the road with my dudes.
Dude, that's great.
Yeah, I got to do this right down the street. You got some dudes, hour away that we can get in a car, go to Chicago. You know what I mean?
And so is matches now, you're doing them once a week. Does that
At least. I'm trying to do like, I mean, it would be sick if I was doing 3, you know.
Where, I mean, are you traveling? I mean, I know you're going to Akron, but are you going like...
Lately, AIW has been taking super care. That's our home company. That's where I trained at, so I owe them everything. But they've been doing like these little weekends where we're just riding to different places across Ohio, which like some people frown upon. Oh, you're just in Ohio. But I'm like, dude, these are great shows. We're AIW, you know what I mean? I'm always here. So Akron last week, Youngstown. Next week I'll be in Indiana for a show, probably a week off, maybe Lakewood. Then maybe like Chillicothe or something, Ohio we're working on. Then I might go up to Canada for a little tour and then come back in a big show in Cleveland.
So you're
like
busy.
Until March, yeah.
Does
next month.
Have you seen the little person wrestling or the midget wrestling?
Hornswoggle.
Really?
Yeah, Hornswoggle, the dude that used to hang out on the ring. He was a little leprechaun in WWE.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
He put on for those guys. If it wasn't for him.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. You wrestled him?
Yeah, wrestled him twice.
Damn.
Yeah, in a singles and a 4-on-4 match. He's my dude. And we're in DX together.
Wait,
so if you
didn't
know
he
about
used to...
WWE, he was in the
Wait,
DX
who would he
army.
come out with, though?
This dude, Finley. He was
Finley,
Irish,
that's what I was going to say. Yeah, it was that Irish dude with the fucking club.
Yeah, and yeah. So that's his dude. So then he joined DX, the DX Army, and he got me and my tag partner Josh Bishop in. So people watching know DX, I'm in it.
What's your favorite finisher?
Favorite finishing move? Great question. Wow.
Because, like, dude, I remember growing up, we used to have, like, wrestling matches.
RKOing each other.
Yeah, dude.
That was the best. People doing it in hallways, that was epic.
We'd be at fucking Brad's house. Shout out Brad Wolf again.
Yeah.
So,
He RKO'd me. I guarantee it.
dude, he RKO'd everybody.
Yeah.
And he, we used to, like, do, like, crazy wrestling matches and stuff in his basement.
Yeah.
And his, like, mom or his dad would be upstairs, and all you'd hear is, Brad!
Yeah.
You know, from like they didn't walk downstairs to like scream at him. They made him come to them. That shit was so fucking funny. And it was always because there was some loud slamming or somebody threw themselves into the TV or some shit like that.
Right.
But dude, yeah, it was always. I guess you're right. It was always the RKO.
Legendary move.
Dude, the RKO is the fucking. You could RKO people into a pool.
Yeah.
You can get nasty with that, dude.
Yeah, that's probably the most legendary move. I don't know, man. That's probably the first one that comes to mind. I gotta go with it.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, the Batista bomb was always good. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, you know what actually my favorite is, dude? Is the Rey Mysterio finisher.
Rey Mysterio was sick, yeah. The kick, and then he did the flipper.
The flip.
Yeah.
I think that's where he really had me.
I don't know why, man. I'm going with RKO right now. I can't really think. I mean, like when dudes would do like a backflip off the top, it was pretty sick. Like a shooting star press.
So who's the most famous person you met through this whole entire process?
I met David Arquette. Is he the most famous? You think he's more famous in wrestling, right? He was in Scream. David Arquette.
I mean, it's pretty famous.
Yeah, I would say David Arquette.
David Arquette?
Yeah.
Do you
WrestleMania weekend. We just said what's up though. It wasn't anything crazy. It's like the top. I met all the top wrestlers. I mean, besides Shawn Michaels and Triple H, I met pretty much every top guy wrestler that. I mean, in one form, you know, Jeff Hardy was epic. Got to kick it with this dude Scott Hall. He was a legendary wrestler. He was one of my favorites. You know, got to kick it with him before he died. Unreal wrestling.
Is it unbelievable being able to pick their brains and kind of
100%?
Because like I mean that's why you're there, right?
100%.
Yeah.
And if people don't get that, they get into wrestling. Anything.
Anything.
Back what we're saying, growing up in sports, right? You play with a dude that's on better teams than with you, you'll probably get better. You play with kids that are older than you at top levels, you'll probably get better. So if I was just wrestling just guys that were equal or lesser, then you don't get better. So I'm wrestling the top guys in the game, and if I just get a little nugget from them, I'm being around them. That's one thing about AIW that I've always appreciated is how much they put me in these situations, all of us pretty much, where legends would come in and they do a signing or something. But if you can just get an hour just being around them and hearing some stories or hearing how they look at wrestling, your game is going up.
Do you get a chance? So like, say you're gonna wrestle a legend, or for that matter, anybody. Do you have an opportunity with them prior to do? I mean, is it a choreographed?
Most of the time, not with these. Not with my shit. I don't do that shit.
All right, so that's okay. That's
remember that shit. I got short-term memory loss, brother.
I was gonna say that's a lot to remember.
And I'm organic, so it's like you.
Does that make it harder though? Because you don't necessarily fucking know what's coming. Then.
Yeah.
And so the reaction has to be.
We're doing it live, brother.
That's fucking crazy.
Either
See,
get out
that's a
of the
lot.
way or get caught.
That's a lot of fucking pressure.
Yeah, that's what hey man, it's like you're a one-take actor.
Because there's no faking falling out of a ring.
Fuck no, not under some barbed wire either.
Are you a little intimidated by the top ropes, or do you love the top ropes?
Scared shit. Listen, bro. I used to be. People know my wrestling dudes. If I came on here and I was like, no,
dude, they would dog you hard.
Yeah. So I had to do it.
That's funny.
I did a frog splash off the top rope, right? Eddie Guerrero style. Boom, off the top. Was doing it, and then I slipped at this one show in Indiana, and I was like, dude, I never want to do it again. And then my dudes were dogging me, and then I was wrestling that dude's partner, this dude Brian Myers, who I think is like the top dude in the game. Rock brought him out to fucking train with him. You know what I mean? Like this dude's up there, top guy. And I was like, I gotta beat him with something. So I'm like in the ring. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go up to the top. I went up to the top, hit that frog splash, beat him 1, 2, 3. So it was like, and that was the first time I did in probably 2-3 years.
So
I got a balance thing I'm working on at home.
But that's gotta be scary though. For
it's high up there, bro. Getting up to the
actually,
top, thrown off.
That's what I mean.
Sheesh.
So you have then been on the top rope with another guy. Is that correct?
Yo,
and like
we like tossed. Yeah, we did like a flipper. Yeah.
Okay,
like
so what's going through your head when you're? I mean, because like I feel like here's my thing with this is it's scary enough probably being up there.
Yeah.
But it's even harder when
you know what goes through my head when I'm
you're
up
with
there?
another dude.
You go. Did we land yet? That's what.
Oh,
that's
dude, fuck all that.
With a thing, he had me over here, so I'm like, that's me, and the invisible, right?
Yeah.
The guy, and he just like came off the top, and and I'm like, holy shit, we're up in there, and then you're bang hit the ring.
Damn,
and
bro.
It's an autopilot kick out. You know what I mean? Barely.
What's the
Barely got a little left in the tank. That was badass, though, man. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
I lived. It's like that one meme. I lived, bitch. That's how I'm living life.
You were just.
That's how I'm living life right now.
I think that's unbelievable because I feel like when you get on the top ropes, one, there's nothing stable about it.
Fuck no, especially in those rings I'm telling you about.
Yeah.
By the time sometimes you get out there, it's loose, the ring's messed up, it's uneven. You're just like, holy shit, I'm slipping. You could walk through some beer. You know, I'm out in the crowd brawling, throwing beer around.
See, and that's got to be. Yeah, you get them going. You're out there inciting fucking violence, son. I love it.
Man, just having fun, man.
Just fucking getting after it.
We're just Rip City, baby.
That's so funny. Yeah, but you do have a great character. That's for sure. Now, is keeping character, I got to imagine, not hard during the match?
No.
Is there...
It's me turned up to 11, so it's like...
Yeah.
You know, if you're going up to the gas station, it's like, if we're just out to eat, chilling, it's like, I'm not going to be all West brothered out, but it's like you go out in front of that crowd and you got another dude that wants to smoke you, and you're just like... I'm the shit.
So that's a great question, or a great thing you just said because it leads me to this question. So you have the winning and losing. It's not choreographed. There is real pain involved. Who determines a winner? Is there like some crazy move and you're like, all right, you got me?
He's trying to pull the curtain back.
No, it's just like I'm definitely trying to pull the curtain back. Actually, I'm not even gonna deny that.
I can't be on film saying all that.
All right. He won't tell us.
I can't tell you how.
He won't tell us.
I can't tell you how the beans are made, right? But I'll just tell you this, right? We go out there, we put the best performance on, and I just do whatever I can do to entertain people and hopefully get the win. So if you come to my show, I appreciate it. I just hope you leave. You spent your hard-earned 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks, and 60, 70 bought a shirt.
He's like, hey, you better be sitting up front, bitch.
You bought a shirt. No. Just kidding. You do that, and you have a good time. That's all that matters, right? That's all that matters.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's how I look at it, man.
No, I mean, that's how you should look at it.
Yeah.
That's great, though. So that actually is good, too. Ticket prices. You don't have any control over those?
Nothing. I don't get a split of the tickets. I get my set rate, and if you want to come support, you come support.
Do you ever think that they get absurd? And I'm not necessarily speaking on like your particular wrestling matches. I'm just speaking in general. Like you've seen ticket prices for like concerts and shit like that lately. Right. What do you really think about all that? Especially like, I mean, dude.
The whole resale game is crazy with that.
Somebody just was on
with like bots and stuff going on, buying Taylor Swift tickets, selling them from quadruple money. That's kind of fucked up because like think about your kid. All they wanted was to go to the fucking Taylor Swift concert with her for fucking 13th birthday. And you got some dude that's just got bots and he bought 5 tickets and he's gonna make like 10 grand off them. But this chick's like at work or staying up late to fucking get on this thing and just spend fucking 2 months savings for her kid. And you got some jabroni doing that. So I don't fuck with that.
I agree.
It goes for shoes and reselling clothes and shit too. I used to think it was whatever, but now it's like you want to buy something, let me just pay for the fucking shirt. I'm not paying triple the value for a fucking t-shirt.
Well, they do like, I was looking at Super Bowl tickets.
Oh,
or I wasn't even looking at Super Bowl tickets.
LeBron tickets.
Somebody posted or whatever, they were like, yeah, just out of curiosity I looked, and it was like 10 or 11 G's for the whole thing, and the fucking service fee was $2,000.
Yeah, that's
because it's a percentage of the tickets.
That's messed up. I don't really fuck with that.
Like, there's what kind of service fee?
Yeah.
So I wish that would change.
I can't say too much, but that's agreed.
I wish that would change throughout the different industries, just to make it just a little bit more affordable. Like, I think Indians games are priced pretty fair for the most part.
100%.
Or Guardians, whatever.
I don't think there should be ticket fees if I pull up to the venue and throw you $20. It's like, I mean,
dude, there shouldn't be a ticket fee if I fucking
right. I mean,
buy it on.
There's definitely supply and demand, which I'm fine with. But if I'm like, hey, your tickets are $100 and here's 520s, let me in. Right?
Well, and then what they do is, though, the bullshit is, especially when you buy it online, is they like lead you in to be like, oh, it's $100 a ticket for whatever it is.
Oh,
and like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then you go to check out,
advertising,
and it's like $874.
Yeah.
You're like, for what?
It's a little different. That's fucked up.
That's completely different. All right, so you're working, you're training, you're wrestling. What determines when you get your next, like, what you would consider to be your big match? Or is it all about your ability to now go on the road, go on these weekend matches, and network and try to meet as many people? And do you, as well, is it common, I'm not asking even for you specifically, but is it common for you or somebody in your position to maybe ask those people that are better than you or came before you or whatever it might be, to ask them for an opportunity at that next level? Or is it like they see you, or is it a combination of both?
That's how I play it. I mean, I'm not going to ask anybody for anything except for advice.
I get it.
That's all I'll take. I don't need someone to, because again, it's a cutthroat business, and the last thing I want is someone to, you're not, if they know you and you've got a good relationship, they'll give you an opportunity. But asking, it's like, I would never do that.
I understand.
But if I would ask for advice, I'd be like, hey, could you watch my match and see what I did and what you think? Or hey, I'm trying to do this. You got any advice on that?
What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Shit, that one about not know who you know, but or not what you know, but who you know, and who you know that's going to go off to bat for you. I've learned so much in these seminars, just little things and just kind of mannerisms, or even just how people treat people and act and wrestle. And for wrestling, it's probably that. The best one is that, it's like a roller coaster, and that you can have like your biggest match on a Friday, but you still got to go to work on Monday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can get flown out to Cali and have a huge match, and then I still got to go to work to Monday. And I was doing some big.
How was California?
It was amazing.
I love
amazing
it.
Experience.
I'm going out there at the beginning of March.
Okay.
And
hell yeah, man! Where are you going?
I will be between Los Angeles and San Diego.
Nice.
So I'm going to spend some time down in Carlsbad. I'm going to go down and see Poopies.
I don't know who that is.
He's in the new Jackass movie.
Gotcha.
And we're going to do some other cool interviews down there.
That's badass.
And then we got a couple more in LA. Yeah.
Cali's amazing. I was out in LA.
I love it out there, man. It's definitely my go-to.
Hell yeah. So I've been out there in like 10 years. I just had to go out and make some plays, and
I just feel like there's so much more going on out there.
100%. That's why I love being out there. Like being in the mix. I'm in West Hollywood. I'm in the mix, going to comedy shows, just being outside with some amazing weather.
Well, I was blown away by the amount of people that I was able to just network with through Instagram, and they've actually become like really cool people and kind of close friends. Yeah. But the ability to network with them just through Instagram, it's like, fuck, man, if I could do this from Cleveland, imagine what I could accomplish from out there.
Facts.
100%. And so 100%. I think for you then, I know you're working your job and everything like that, but at what point do you think for you are you going to sit here and go, listen, man, I can't do both, and this is when I'm gonna push? Is it gonna be one of those times where it's like, dude, I'm doing a match every 2 days?
Yeah, and that's probably what it would be. It'd
really
be like you're super booked up, you're getting paid good, you're on the road all the time. It's like, we got to make it happen, because you'll know when you're on the radar. You know what I mean? When you got feelers, you got something big coming up.
Yeah, like this is gonna happen now.
Yeah, you're getting booked all the time, and then it's like, okay, you got someone looking. See it on Twitter, Instagram, you're blowing up, and then you're like, we got probably a shot coming. And it's like, if you knew that was coming, it's like, we got to be fully focused. So that goes back to like recovering. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to get there and be all banged up.
Right.
It's going to happen. You're going to be banged up, but let's make it the least banged up.
What is your key to victory then? I mean, you stay pretty healthy. I mean, I know you hurt your back and everything like that.
That's what taught me. I go to the chiropractor. That's what you're going to ask, right? What I do. So diet is key. This is for any mental health. We're going to talk more about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right now.
No, go for it.
Well,
just go.
Like a lot of mental health stuff, it's like you can better where you're at by just doing a couple things. And it's like, you don't need to jump right in and do them all at 100%, but like exercising daily is huge. You know, so many people are stressed sitting at their desk and they're not moving and shit, and they're just chilling, eating bags of chips and on their couch, and they're down bad. I'm not knocking them, you know what I mean? But if you can get up and maybe go on a half-hour walk a couple days a week, I guarantee you'll start feeling better.
Cardio's like, fuck, dude, I was so depressed. Like, I was going to kill myself depressed. And I started working out again.
Yeah.
And fuck.
It's then you start lifting weights and you start feeling
you feel so much better.
Look at yourself in the mirror and you start looking better and you get more confidence, and then that starts going. But then your diet's key too, because your gut is connected to your brain. You know what I mean? So you got to eat good. If you're putting bullshit in, you're gonna get bullshit out.
Right.
So, you know, I'm always eating really healthy, meal prepping a lot, doing all that stuff. Water intake, you know what I mean? I'm probably at 2 gallons at least a day. You know, I'm ripping that.
Dang, son.
Yeah, I don't mess around with the water.
You handling those pee breaks then, huh?
I gotta pee right now, but if we're rocking,
you can go pee real quick.
You sure?
Yeah,
right.
go pee. We'll take a quick break. From a mental health standpoint, you know, I know you said you exercise. I'm telling you right now, dude, I was so depressed, and I think that was like the first thing that like made me feel good. Was I like went for a run, and I was like, I think it was like 1.5 miles, and I was like, man, I feel so much better. Like, took a shower, like felt like a new fucking person, dude. Like, there was some real motivation behind it. What else do you do besides eating good? And what do you do, you know, besides eating good and training and stuff like that really to keep yourself healthy, to keep yourself mentally healthy?
So this one hits both those, is the cryogenic chamber I was talking about. I go there every day. You're like in it for 3 minutes. It's like gets up to negative 200.
Damn.
Cools you down. Dopamine released after. Your endorphins are going. Feeling great after. Controlling your breathing and stuff too. So breath work. I do breath work. I meditate. I write down 3 things at least I'm grateful for every morning and before I go to bed. And those are 2 other things that I think everyone should have, that are hard as fuck to do, excuse my language, but having a morning and nighttime routine. You know, something that hit me the other week that I realized, because I haven't been getting good sleep, is that you can't just turn the light off and go to bed. It's like a whole wind down. You know what I mean? So I started thinking about it like that, and I'm like, I can't just get into bed, turn the switch off, and be bed. You know, it's like the whole thing. So now I got a whole routine, whether it's, you know, journaling, maybe listening to some music. I got some from some good guys on Instagram that I just made my own. You know what I mean?
I've been hitting him with that you know, that Calm app.
I heard it's good. No, I haven't been on it.
Bro,
I heard it's good.
So I had,
they got waves and shit.
Bro, the waves, dude. Yeah. But it's the rain for me.
The rain's huge, and the crazy thing
is,
I
love the rain, bro.
Isn't that wild? I used to have rain on a little iPod.
Really?
The iPod Touch. I had like a rain app, blue noise or black, white noise app. Dude, green noise is the shit now.
So I put that on.
Yeah.
And then, like, for me, I don't go anywhere really. Okay. Like, if I'm working or doing this, like that's all I'm doing.
I'm with you. It's, you gotta.
And so
make shit happen.
when I like, even tonight after this, I'll download all this stuff and get it over to my guy Dylan, and then, you know, I try to take stuff from different podcasts, and it also takes a little while to get comfortable in front of the camera.
For sure.
Right.
Oh yeah, bro. That's definitely
is it now that's another question I had for you. So is it different sitting down like this versus when you're sitting down when you're entertaining?
Red lights on. I'm entertaining.
You're entertaining.
Oh, I got you.
It doesn't even matter.
If the mic was a little higher, I'd be camera the whole time.
What does what makes you? That's fucking hilarious. What makes you nervous then? Like what? Man, and then how do you deal with it when you are nervous? Like something has gone wrong, whether it's wrestling related or in life, and you're like, all right, like I've got to fix this problem or whatever it might be. It makes me nervous, anxious. Or how are you dealing with that? Or are you just not an anxious person?
That's a great question. I don't think I'm that anxious anymore. One thing I learned is that you kind of think about like depression and being depressed when you think about the past too much. Mm-hmm. And when you think about the future too much, you get anxiety or anxious. You know what I mean? So I try to live in the present as much as possible. And especially with the wrestling, like...
That's great advice. I like that a lot. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's really good.
Yeah, so I just try to stay in the present as much as possible. And there's some other techniques I got too that I'll drop because people seem to really like them, honestly. I used to post videos on Instagram like, hey, motivating thing. One thing I always say is, this isn't about that, but it's like, you know, planting seeds. Like I always say, like, you know, October, November, you get some seeds, you start planting them. November, December, you start watering them, and then by January, you get some nice little garden coming. You know what I mean? Instead of just being a New Year's resolution type person where you're just like, hey, January 1st, I'm going to start doing this. And then you're like 3 days in, you're like, I fucked up. I broke my New Year's resolution. But it's like, it's not a resolution. It's like goals and more so habits.
You seem to be very routine oriented.
That's key. That's what I realized. Because you look at all these guys that have done things at high levels, and you look more so at like millionaires and billionaires, right? And they all have a routine, you know? And it's finding what works for you. You can't be like, hey, you know what? I saw Mark Cuban wakes up at 5:30 every morning. I'm gonna just do that, and then they're up at 5:30.
I know, dude, and a lot of people do.
Yeah.
There's been hilarious takes on like like Gary Vee and stuff like that.
Right, and that, but like you can read any book, and there's definitely some advice in books, but you know what you got to do.
I like getting up early.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
you know,
and early to you might be early to someone else.
100%. 100%. You know, and like for me, dealing with that is key. Living in the present.
It's huge. I'll tell you the technique on that.
So I still, because like I think when you do decide to live in the present, like the past can't necessarily bother you for
sure.
For my situation and things I put myself through. Like I still get like hate messages.
Okay.
I don't know who they're from.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Burner accounts hitting you up?
Yeah, dude, it's like it's all about my past relationship and like, oh, I knew you were never good enough for her and all this stuff. But dude, I get them at like 4 a.m, like twice a month.
That's probably.
It's like,
I'm not gonna say who it is, but
I'm just like, yo, dude, like, why are you thinking about me at 4 a.m, bro? Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I think even like when those kinds of things do happen to me, I'm still like, all right, let's just keep moving.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like this is like I just
2 gems right here.
Like it's a shitty thing to read at 5 a.m, but I'm also like, we can't acknowledge that. We gotta roll.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Taking the good with the bad. You know, but sometimes even the good, you kind of got to just take everything as the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't get super down because someone's talking shit on you, and then get super high when someone's there because you're still going to just be in the same mode. So you got to take everything with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Can't get dwelling on that, negatives or the positives. The other thing with the senses is, or sorry, I slipped and already said what I was going to say.
Yeah, here it is. Here it is.
What do you got? Isn't that sending that?
I don't know. I looked it up. How crazy is that?
Is it? Let me see. Did it say text message or iMessage?
It's a text for sure. I looked it up. It was a fake number. Somebody made a fake number.
Yeah, they're doing some burner thing.
But
that's some weird. That's someone. Hey, look, 4 a.m. That's someone.
Yeah, like you got something. You got something on your mind. How old your boy?
Way too much time on your hands.
Yeah.
But the other thing is like being present. Another thing that helps people with that is just taking in all your senses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like see what you're seeing. You know, kind of take a second and then hear.
So phenomenal point. Yeah. Let me lead off that because I like where you just went there. So how much is social media? Do you think fucking up obviously our whole entire world?
100%.
What are you doing to combat that? Because even today I went for a walk, and a lot of the time I'm staring at my computer, staring at my phone, or whatever it might be. But when you get a chance to stop and like look around, you know, you realize how much better you feel anyways.
100%.
You know, so, but yeah, anyways, I wanted your take on that, and I wanted your take with like how fucked up you think the kids are going to be coming up.
I'll answer that first. That's just going to be ridiculous. It's going to be a whole different life, and it's like, you just gotta see. I can't be like, well, my kids are gonna be doing this. Like, bro, you don't know what's coming next.
It's wild.
These kids are hooked. They're doing shit that we weren't doing. They have access to information that we didn't have at an earlier age. If they wanted to be a mechanic, if a kid wanted to be a mechanic and he knows how to use YouTube at 5 years old, he might start fucking working on. He might do an oil change by 7. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just being honest. More power to him. And I want more people to do that, but that makes the whole landscape's gonna be competitive. Not even just for us, but for kids coming up. Like, you know, you had to have, like, I remember I played guitar growing up, and then I got recorded, and I thought that was the biggest thing ever. You know what I mean?
Of course.
I got, like, my guitar teacher recorded me, and we made a CD in, like, 2007. I was like, dude, that's the coolest shit ever. But now it's like you can fucking iPhone a video, make a music video in an hour.
We were talking about that I was talking about that with Sir Yacht last week. He was like, you know, even with a podcast, like, you couldn't just throw up a podcast back in the day.
Right.
Like now, like, sure, whatever. You got to spend some money to get it all set up, but like, and then take the time to get the guests. But once you do,
you can put it on Spotify.
You can put it on Spotify. I'm on, Spotify. I'm on Apple, YouTube, Amazon Music, Samsung Music.
Yeah. All the above, baby.
Yeah, pretty much everything.
The first part though, you were talking about social media and just like I'm on Instagram way too much, and it's most of the time
Me too.
when I'm in a bad zone, when I'm doing something I don't want to be doing. When I'm doing
it's the worst that when you're looking at your phone, you're like, I shouldn't be doing this right now.
When I went to Cali, I wasn't on it at all because I was strictly business. I was making moves, and it was beautiful out. If it's beautiful out and I don't have to be anywhere, I'm sitting on the beach.
What a game changer the weather is, though.
Huge.
How much better did you feel?
Dude, when I landed, I got some sun in my eyes. I just looked out, and I go, I feel amazing. And then for those 4 days, I felt like $1 million. Just kicking it outside, walking.
It is.
I just walked one day. Just walked.
The seasonal depression around here is very real.
It hit me right before I went. I was like, when I got out there, I was like, that's what it was.
It'll fuck you up. And I think, too, like, it's sad. You realize it when, truth be told, you realize it when the sun comes out. You're like, damn, I miss that. You know, like, we'll get a 50-degree day and everybody's like, fuck yeah, man. Yeah, everybody's pumped. Yeah. And, you know, towards the end of summer, you get a 50-degree day. You're like, oh, man, it's fucking freezing out here. Right. But you're killing for that day in the middle of February.
100%.
You know?
Yeah. You never hear people bitching about Cleveland when they go on a trip in the summer, but when they go on a trip in the winter, like, Cleveland sucks.
Oh, yeah, you know of course.
So that's how I feel.
Cleveland summers are the best, though, bro.
For sure. That's fact.
Cleveland summers are the best, dude. There's nothing like a Cleveland summer, man.
Yeah, there's nothing like it.
No, if you can hit a couple boats, and if you can go down to the flats and 25th and all that, you could have a real good time. You know, and then I think that's another thing that I've started to do is, like, I try to go to, like, restaurants that are more upbeat vibe versus less, like, sad alcoholic.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying? 100%. You know, because, like, you go to, like, some restaurants and everything and you're like, damn, like, you know, you go in and, like, that dude's been, you know, he's got his nameplate on the bar because he's been fucking sitting there for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know.
That's not my spot.
Yeah, and
like my type of people, that ain't my type.
Bro, when I was turning it up, bro, that was my spot. Because you go in there and then you just get fucking wrecked for cheap.
There you go.
But, like, now that I'm not doing that, I like to go somewhere with a good vibe.
For sure. That's all, man.
I can't go sit in, like, a dive bar by myself and eat. It's just sad as fuck. It's just so sad, bro.
I'm with you. That ain't the move. That ain't the move. The people.
What's your parents' take on where you're at now?
They're happy. They come to the shows, support. You know, they would do anything to support me, which I appreciate.
Who's your biggest fan?
I would say...
Besides any of those girls you might have curved, they're still hitting you up.
I'm busy though. That's the thing. Like that's why it's like right now I'm so busy that I just feel bad. I can't.
So you're basically you're saying that you're so busy where women aren't even.
Well, I'm doing all right for myself when I have time, but at the same time, it's like, you know, and some women want more stuff, and it's like you're on the road every weekend. It's like, you know, I'm kind of selfish for that, so I can't. You know, it's like when I have weeks off, we're making shit happen, but
no commitment.
No, I can't right now.
I like it.
Because I can't let anything take me off the track of wrestling.
No, that's not it at all.
And like some people are like.
I heard if you have like.
And if you, all I ever want out of someone, if we're dating and I'm wrestling, is support. That's all I ask.
That's it.
With that, it's all it needs to be, support. That's all I ever ask for. Maybe good luck text, appreciate it. You know what I mean? That goes a long way for me though. But as long as you support me going on the road, doing my thing, that's all I ever cared.
That's tough to find.
100%.
That's tough to find.
And then people start getting older, and I'm 29, so you know I date chicks, whatever. But some older ones, some younger ones, bro. Some 24, 25. They want to get married. 23.
See, I'm nothing in common with these 24, 25-year-old chicks. I just feel like I'm talking to a fucking. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking to a fucking wall, bro. Some of them. I'm like, man.
Just life, you know?
Yeah, I'm like, did someone kick you in the head when you got out of bed this morning?
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying, though.
I can't do it.
Plus or minus a couple of years.
You know what I can't deal with? Here's actually, this is all the way around. I can't deal with people that are stuck in the mindset that, like, this 9-to-5 box is where I need to exist.
That's what I'm saying.
And a lot of people are like, oh, well, you know, I do this, and they're like, yeah, I went to school for 4 years and this and that, and it's like I'm gonna make $70,000 at like my best. It's like damn,
there's
bro.
There's cool chicks though that work hard. You know what I mean? So it's like
I'm not saying that not chicks that are like. I'm just saying I can't deal with complacent. If someone's complacent, I can't fucking deal with it.
Agreed. Hey, brother.
You know,
brother. You know, you're like, when do you get nervous? And like, sure, I get some nerves when I go out there, and there's big matches, and I get super nervous for it. But you know, most of the time, I kind of calm myself down and be like, I'm prepared. But you need those nerves. You know what I mean? Like, if you just live everything comfort zone, there's no thrill in life. And, like, sometimes you need those nerves to feel like you're fucking alive.
Do you thrive outside your comfort zone?
100%.
Yeah. And
it's just put myself in those positions. That's why it's like, with my wrestling, everything's organic, and we're just going with the flow.
What's your, what's a move that you can't do right now that you want to be able to do? Like, are there, like...
Backflip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. And, like, you want to... Now, when you say backflip, is this like top rope, I want to land this backflip, or top rope, I want to like jump on somebody?
On the ground.
Oh, wow.
I got something lined up. That's fire.
Really?
Yeah. It's like some Rob Van Dam.
And do you run into any trouble with your back?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, lately I've been cool. The thing with that was the one thing I didn't say that earlier was the doctor was like, took the brace off. He's like, yeah, you're good.
Just gave me a pat on the back. Like, yeah.
Was he at the Rocky River Urgent Care?
No, this was at the real deal.
I'm just kidding.
The urgent care already dogged me. I was like, I'm done with them. But then this is at the orthopedic, right? And they're like, yeah, so this is something else though that kind of was going on what you were saying about doctors. I'm not trying to roast doctors and shit, but the guy's like, yeah, how's the pain? You know, like they were like open to giving me pain medication.
Okay.
Which like you're like, this dude just got in trouble at OU like half a year ago. You know what I mean? Like, why are we giving them, you know, medicine and shit? So it was just like they took the brace off and they just give you, you know, painkillers or whatever, and they're just like, yeah, you're good. And it's just like, that's not right. Like, there's got to be something else to it. So I started going to chiropractor. He started saying, oh, your back's fucked up. You know, we got to start doing core work and more yoga and stuff. And that is what really set me, you know, on that level. But that's when I was kind of like, why would I go to the doctor? This dude's like, your muscles are imbalanced. Like, you need to do this. And I did that, and I feel great. And I'm, you know, so.
Have you seen Scary Injuries on the?
Yeah, right after. So the doctor says you're good. I wrestled for like 2 months. I'm on a hot run off rip, dude. I came off hot.
Okay.
I had like a Cleveland, then I went to Virginia, then I went to Tennessee, then I wrestled at Pittsburgh.
I just want to know how these matches are won. You're gonna tell me one day. You don't have to tell me today, but one day. It might be in 10 years.
Come and see it. And
because I want to, because I truly feel my guess, everybody, and whatever. I think it's all about who land. I think you should get points for the cool moves you make, and then whoever gets the most points should get the pin.
There's some cool move guys.
Yeah.
And there's some also other guys. You know what I mean? You gotta come to the show and you'll see.
I will. When's your next one? That's
Cleveland. It's gonna be. Hold on. They're gonna kill me for not knowing if it's the 24th or the 25th. My next show in Cleveland. So, I don't know when this is coming out. Yeah. So Friday, March 24th. The Temple Live, Masonic Temple downtown. It's going down. The return to Cleveland. I haven't wrestled in Cleveland in like 5 months.
Okay.
Week back.
And are you doing
Xbox?
You did one in the summer that was outside.
Summer one outside. Wrestle Rager. We'll be back there June, July, August.
Okay, you'll be turning it up.
That is the show you can't miss. Biggest party of the summer. I've been saying it 3 years straight, and it gets bigger every year.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're just turning it up.
That one's the most epic one. I was in a Texas Bull Rope match last year.
Oh wow!
Jumping off the roof and shit. Yeah.
You know what? I think I had seen videos of that.
That was a good one. I gotta post more videos. That's the thing. But yeah, man. I was on this hot run, and week 4 or 5, I do a move, land, and kind of hyperextend, and my back was fucked up.
For how long?
Until I went to the chiropractor, probably 3 months, 4 months.
So do you get like shots in your back or anything now?
I haven't done any of that. We kept it all holistic, but I was just eating CBD. Like that shit just came out. I was just eating CBD, and I was like, that kind of helps. And then my back would be just demolished. I go to this chiropractor, he takes X-rays. Like, dude, your back's fucked up.
Damn.
3 days a week, yeah. 3 days a week to the chiropractor, getting me right, getting me get right. And then he's like, you're doing really good. And there's been like 3 years, probably 4 years.
But are you mindful of that when you're out there?
Yeah, for sure.
Is that something like you're thinking about a little bit?
You're always landing on your back, pretty much. So you just got to be. It's the rest of the stuff the whole week before, getting prepared.
Okay.
It happened before.
How long before you know who you're wrestling?
Sometimes it's day of. Sometimes you get there and you might not even have a match, and they're like, "Hey, dude, didn't show up. You're on," and you're like, "All right, it's go time."
All right, so
be a professional.
So
and know your shit.
Okay, now with that being said, are you preparing for a particular person, or are you kind of looking at what everybody's doing just in case you do get that match?
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
More so, you're just always ready for anybody. But if you have a big match coming up, that's when you can start breaking down tape on them, seeing what they do.
See, that's got to be nice.
So it's huge, yeah. So if you got like a month out and like, hey, like even I just got one. I think someone sent me it just for next week. I'm wrestling these 2 guys, and it's like, I've wrestled them before. Let's see what they did last show. Let's start breaking some stuff down. We got to cover all our bases. And
do you like tag team, or do you like?
That's next week. Is a tag team, but I like, man. I'd love tagging with my dude Josh. That's my boy. Josh Bishop is my brother. And he'll probably say the same thing. We just singles matches are, you know what I mean? Like, we have so much fun together, and he knows that. We just tear the fucking city up. We burn fucking everything down.
Really?
But when we're singles matches, it's just way more fun just you being against one person.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's so many other moving pieces. And me and Josh are always on the same page. But, you know, there's like the other team and their shit, and it's like just watching out for all that shit. And it's just like just being there by yourself. That's what I like. I don't know. Probably not that JB knows, but whatever.
Okay. Is there anything you want to talk about that we haven't talked about?
Man, I can't really think of anything. What
do we have here? We probably have an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, we're going long.
Of you?
You chop it up, cut it down. If there's any other mental health stuff, I'd love to.
Okay, so I'll finish. So on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how happy would you say you are now? Mm-hmm. And if if not a 10, what can you do to get close to a 10 or closer to a 10?
Like a 7.5, 8.
Okay.
Which is really good, but it's just like I need to change some stuff in my environment right now.
Okay.
Get a little more cheese. Get out to the West Coast.
Okay.
So I don't have to deal with this weather stuff.
Dude, if you ever go out there, let me know. I'm always out there, and I have a bunch of friends out there.
What about Vegas? You like going to Vegas?
Love Vegas. Yeah, fucking love Vegas, dude. I actually have to go to Vegas at some point in the next like 3 months because I do have 2 interviews to do out there, but I haven't scheduled them yet because I want to do LA first.
Okay. So you're just bringing the gear out there?
Yeah, I'm gonna ship it. Actually.
Just put in your bag.
Because all this stuff in my bag, it's too much.
You can get like a traveling mic. You don't have those podcast gimmicks?
I've never seen those.
I'll tell
Dude,
you.
hook it up.
I'll tell you the mixer to buy, and then you just put the sound down on that.
Dude, I'm down because I have.
We do this shit.
What I did the last time was I just shipped it to Aaron. Aaron Crawford. I just shipped it to him.
I fucked up because he liked my story when I was out there, and I didn't hit him up. I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't like.
No, he's out. Yeah, he's out there.
By him, I don't know. He liked it.
Okay.
I was like tied up. I was like, I'm here for like 5 more hours.
So you think so you think going to LA though is gonna be, or like I'm sorry.
Being somewhere where it's always sunny and I can be on a beach or next to water, I think then I'm probably.
It's a no-brainer for you.
Right at 10. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
You know, and wrestling like. TV would be sick.
I think you probably get more.
I can't really dwell on that though. I mean, I'll still be a 10 if I'm not on TV, but that would really put it up there.
You probably would get more gigs out there, because you would get.
Yeah, there's some good companies.
Do you see what I'm saying? But it's
not.
simply because of there's more shit going on out there.
True.
Versus Cleveland, right? What kind of music are you listening to these days?
Dude, I'm all over, but most of the stuff I listen to is like 90s grunge music. That's
really?
Shit, yeah.
Okay.
Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Nirvana here and there, Pearl Jam, you know what I mean?
Oh, you're really getting after it.
Dude, yeah, and then you put that on, you just put those brothers on, and then like the songs they mix in there, you just find some gems from the 90s that are sick.
But depending on what you're listening to, it dictates your mood.
For sure.
Right.
Sure. And there's songs that have got accustomed to different moods that you listen to at a certain time.
Yeah.
You're like, I listened to this song when that was happening. Oh, that wasn't good. Or I listened to this song when that was happening. That was sick.
Yeah.
It brings you back. And like, dude, lately it's weird. Sometimes I just make these playlists for each month of songs that are coming into my life that I want to put together, and then I'll just listen to those.
Right.
And sometimes I'll listen to the same song like 3 times before a match.
Really?
Yeah, and it's not even my favorite.
I kill a song, dude.
Just making me feel good. I'm zooming. Exactly, killing them. So if I have a big match, I'll just be bumping.
See, that's great though. At least there's an escape there, and there's like a comfort level there. Because it is good to escape there for a second, so you can get in your zone and lock in. And
that's good. I never thought about it like that. That's really good.
Yeah.
I'm escaping to get to the.
I mean, dude, that's what it is. I find myself. I've listened to like sad music when I was like super depressed, and like now, like for me, I try just to not even go there.
Yeah.
Right? Because like for me, I just try to. I'm like, all right, like this song is. Even bringing me down a little bit, I gotta change it.
Yeah,
like I gotta get something else going.
Keep your vibe up, brother. You gotta be in that celebration frequency.
Always, dude.
Celebration frequency. That's what it is.
I'll tell you what. Lately I feel great. I'm doing good. Things have been fun. This has been great. And I just love interviewing people. I just think it's a fucking good time.
That's awesome. You can tell you're a good time.
No, I appreciate that. So you're saying like a 7.5, 8, or what did you say? Yes.
7.5, 8.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think you can get even higher though, as long as you.
Well, if I get a little better weather, that's a point.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's a big one.
We're gonna say 8.5 there. Had a little more cheese, that'd be at 9.
Yeah.
And then 10 would be wrestling on TV.
Yeah, wrestling on TV, that'll happen.
That's all that I need. That's all I need in my life.
As long as you stay the course, you keep doing what you're doing. I don't see why.
Everything else mental wise is I'm on point. I feel great.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's like it didn't just happen overnight. It took a lot of work. I've been seeing a ton of shit. You know?
Yeah, well, I think it takes time to practice.
Yeah. And
figure out really like where you're at. And I think it's important too. You seem to be one of those people, and this is not really always the case. Is you know what you want.
Yeah.
And when you're around somebody or you yourself doesn't know what they want, that really becomes difficult because you know, for me. There was definitely a time in my life where I was like very complacent. I was like, I'm working here.
Yeah.
I was like going to school to be a teacher. I was like, because I just, I just want to get out of the car business, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And all these things happen. I think like the best thing for me was like, oh my God, you came out of this yourself. You know what I mean? There was no facade anymore, right? It was like, this is what this is.
Yeah.
And
you're living your truth.
It's just a beautiful thing.
Things to different people, but like if you're like, hey, I'm being truthful with how I feel or what I'm saying, then it's like you can never,
And that's why, like, for me now, like, I look back even at a lot of things that I had done.
Yeah.
Even in the last year.
For sure.
Just like stupid decisions or, people that I really did care about that I hurt or whatever it might be. Right. I think when you like kind of come to that realization, obviously it sucks.
Sure.
Because it's like I can't take any of this shit back.
Right.
I can't, repair some of these relationships. Like that'll never happen. You're never going to get the explanations you feel like you need or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But when you come out of it and you're like, man, I'm just me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like no one can take that away from you, and then you're not hiding from it yourself, and you know what you want, and you know where you're kind of headed.
Exactly.
And that's like, for me, I give you shit about the girls and stuff, but like, dude, I'm the same way, because for me, there's just nobody there's nobody good enough right now. It's just, I've like put myself through too much to,
that's what you want.
Yeah, like I just know what I want, bro.
Right.
And like it's a cool place to be like, this is where it is. Imagine, because there's a lot of people that work those 9 to 5s. You may make a couple bucks or do what you're doing.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is you're not fulfilled.
No.
Right? There's nothing fulfilling about that. It's like, oh, well, I go out and hang out with my friends, and that's fulfilling and shit. And maybe for some people, but I can't imagine that on any level.
That's pretty boring.
I can't imagine that, like, going out every weekend and like celebrating and getting fucked up and stuff like that.
Weekend. Every day should be a weekend, right? Every day. People like are on that book about the dude making his bed, and there's some good gems in there.
Right.
And like maybe if you make your bed, you feel a little more up in your step. But I'm like, dude, every day I wake up and I'm alive is an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just being alive, you never know what can happen. Like this one wrestler just passed away. He got in a car crash. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Like, you never know what can happen in life, and it's just like you just gotta live it to the fullest.
Yeah.
In everything you do.
Yeah. But it's even better when you're. Yeah.
What you love.
Well, you got a path. You get yourself on a little bit of a path. You're in better shape. And I think for people that like, I say that more for people that do work that 9 to 5 with zero aspirations outside of it. It's like, come on.
You can't change people. That's something else.
That's wild, isn't it?
You can't change people. You can only change yourself.
That's it.
And that's on every aspect. With those people or people that you're like, hey, why aren't we friends? Or, hey, I want to go on a date with you. Why doesn't she like me? Shit like that. You're like, you can't change how people feel about you. You can only change about you, and then that'll change what they feel about you.
Perception is.
You can't change people. You can. They don't remember what you say. They remember how you treated them. Right?
Yeah.
That's like the one saying.
Which is wild, too, right? Like, how many times have you been put in a situation where you maybe met somebody and you're like, oh, that's not at all who I expected that person to be.
Right. That's how it goes.
Right?
That's perception.
Like, that's wild.
When I come out of the curtain.
Yeah, dude. I wouldn't want to wrestle you. Fuck that.
I appreciate that.
What are the chances? Do you guys ever bring fans into the cage, or is that like an insurance?
No, yeah, you can't.
You can't. I just think you should get Brad in there. You know what I mean?
Throw an RKO.
Yeah, dude. His life would be complete.
One time I had a fan, my dude Hardy, hold the chair, and I threw a dude into him, and then he smoked him with the chair. I was like, I just told you to hold it, brother.
Like he really cracked him with
the fucking chair, bro. Yeah, he smoked him, and I was like,
he's fucking out cold.
Yeah, he smoked. I was like, all right, cool.
That is so funny.
But not fans mostly don't. But yeah, we get crazy, man.
That is so funny. So, do you intend to change location though?
Yeah, when
the time comes.
Yeah, for sure. Like if you got signed to one of those companies, then you can make a major play.
Good for you.
Even if you got booked every weekend, and promoters, they'll pay for transportation here and there, but they ain't really buying flights. We
right.
Get that on. So that's a goal for this year.
Good for you.
Start getting flown, then you can start living wherever you want.
Well, no, I think you're on a great track. I think you've got the right mindset, and I think it's important that you keep doing what you're doing. Because you're gonna keep crushing it. You're already crushing it. I just think it's gonna get better for you.
Appreciate it.
So, anyways, dude, I appreciate you coming on here.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And please follow Wes Barkley, Maserati Wes on Instagram. When's your next show? What did you say, Wes?
Twitter. But next show, March 24th, Masonic Temple, Cleveland, Ohio, the return.
So you head into
square. Remember, there's no squares in my circle.
You head into a place of prayer and just
what happened?
A temple?
It's a Masonic temple. Temple Live, Temple Bar. That's what it's called. I don't know the exact name, but I know it. When I posted the location.
Oh, I thought you were heading into like a church, dude.
No, we did. That's where I made my debut. Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church.
great spot.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, they got the feast down there too. You ever go down there?
Yeah, we were in that gym.
I've been every year, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, March, be there. Wes Barkley on Twitter, Maserati Wes on Instagram. Trying to get my followers up, so I don't know.
Like and subscribe for more.
Like and subscribe, do the gimmicks.
Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.